panel. We have Mr. Ido Gore, we have Nir Ether, Danny Nakamali, and Ilan Adler, who will be presenting. And of course, we have others, also Mr. Roy Barzilay, who will be moderating this session. But today, what I would like to acknowledge is the fact that this is Israel's Independence Day. And I am so grateful for the fact that so many in Israel are participating on this, even though it is Israel's Independence Day. And I just want to share the English lyrics of this great nation's anthem, the national anthem. So the national anthem of Israel reads as follows: as long as within our hearts the Jewish soul sings, as long as towards the east to Zion looks the eye, our hope is not yet lost. It is 2,000 years old to be a free people in our land, the land of Zion and Jerusalem. Those are the English translated lyrics of the great national anthem of Israel. So we want to say Happy Independence Day to the great land of Israel, the people of Israel. Shalom. And we hope that Israel will be there for thousands and thousands of more years. So we wish the country all good luck and God's blessings. So with that, I want to have our CEO of India Mobile Congress. This is the annual event that we have every year. And we are hoping that many from Israel will participate. And those who are on the listening end of it will also consider participating if we are fortunate enough to have the event this year in the midst of the challenges of COVID. But let me hand off now to Mr. Ramakrishna, who is the CEO of India Mobile Congress, to say a few words before we continue with the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajan sir. Good afternoon for everyone, and we are going to see a very good webinar today. I think it's a lot of interest has been generated in this particular webinar. We see too many attendees on right now showing it on our screen. Thank you all for attending this. Let's have a good session around the 5G IoT. I represent India Mobile Congress. It's 3 years, is the 4th edition now, which we are going to have this year. We are just waiting for the consent of the government so that in October 15, 16, 17, probably we can have this event as a great and the largest event as South Asia, like every year we have it. To all of you, we are proud to say that we have surpassed MWC Shanghai numbers. Last year we had about 75,000 attendees. We had about 1.5 billion kind of social media impressions on this particular event. We had about close to 400 exhibitors and about 250 startups participated. We hope this is a bigger number this year, but we are just trying to see how COVID settles down. Probably we'll have some announcements to make on the dates. Anyhow, right now, currently it is scheduled for October 15, 16, 17. The theme of this year would be inclusive innovation, smart, secure, sustainable. This is a kind of the innovation which we want to see that, which is an inclusive way where should be able to work, play with the technology seamless to create novel solutions and more robust, smart, secure, and sustainable. With these words, I pass on to the next speaker of the day. And thank you very much. Look forward for some communication from us about India Mobile Congress. Meanwhile, we will keep you engaged in certain webinars similar to what we hosted today and keep you upbeat on the technology side. Thank you so much. Mr. Roy, you want to take over, sir?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Ramakrishna, and Mr. Matthews. Nabil, if you can share my slides, I would appreciate that. So first of all, I want to thank all of those that are participating in this event. It's a great honor for us. I want to thank, of course, to the Cellular Operators Association of India and to IMC for their partnership. I also would like to mention and introduce my colleagues, Barak Granot, which is the head of, moment please. So I want to mention my colleagues, Mr. Barak Granot, which is the head of an economic and trade mission office in New Delhi, and my colleague, Mr. Vinod Mehta, which is our senior trade officer, and thank you for also helping to organize that. I also would like to mention Mr. Krael Amitai, which is the head of innovation in the mobile sector in the Israel Export Institute. Personally, myself, I served for the last 11 years, and this is an honor, as an advisor to the Israeli Export Institute, which is actually also associated to the Ministry of Economy and is a partner of the offices that we have in Mumbai, in Bangalore, and New Delhi, as I mentioned. In my past, I'm starting from IT and system integration at NS Technologies, which is the leading multinational system integrator, Israeli system integrator located in Tel Aviv. I had a few years managing the partnerships and the portfolio of Converse, which was at that time the leading value-added services provider. I believe that most of you are using, at least used to use things that were developed by Converse, and in the last 11 years, I dedicate what I'm doing to scout technologies for foreign companies that are looking for technologies in Israel, and as a senior advisor to the Export Institute. The Israel Export Institute, the mission is to create joint businesses between foreign companies and Israeli companies, and this is done abroad and also in Israel in all kinds of events that you may have seen now. In a few minutes, I will hand it over to Mr. Ido Gur, which is the CEO of Saguna, and he will be the first presenter out of 4. The presentation will take over more or less 50 minutes, and then we have Q&A and a summary. Few things about Israel and the ecosystem. So first of all, Israel is, someone said that we were blessed with lack of natural resources, meaning that we have to be very innovative. So we invest more than 4% of our GDP are spent on R&D. We have a very vibrant VC ecosystem in Israel, and actually we're the first in the world in terms of investment per capita. Israel has 9 million people, but we still have 20 unicorns, meaning companies that worth more than $1 billion if you will take it comparing to countries like the US. So it's probably close to, in proportion, close to 1,000 in the US. In Israel, we have 7,000 active startups, and the net growth is around 9%. In other words, since this morning, probably 2 or 3 new startups were established. We have 560 multinational corporations that have innovation offices or R&D centers, usually both in Israel. And what they are doing here is mainly doing POCs, they're running all kinds of trials, they're looking for partnerships, and then they are doing investment and acquisitions. I want to say a few words since we're talking, I think in the last month we were talking with more than 30 carriers. So in few words, that's what we are feeling, or what are the trends that we recognize in this special period. So first of all, of course, IoT pushes the deployment of 5G. And you might have think about economic breakdowns or all kind of financial consideration that will slow down the rollouts of new networks, but on the other side, this period creates actually opportunities and also requirements that are in the opposite vector. So we forecast that there will be an acceleration of adoption of new technologies. In the past, we knew that the IoT is a bit behind the forecast. The forecast was that we will have tens of billions of devices, connected devices. That didn't happen yet because of all kinds of reasons, like lack of standardization, and problematic business models, and even network availability and reliability, not to mention all kinds of spectrum issues. But we believe that in 2020, this is the year of IoT, because the standardization has made a great progress. There are new business models. We see technologies that actually encourage the adoption of IoT. Some of them we will see today, like DNF, like edge computing, and so on. And also we see that if we're talking about the COVID-19, that also accelerates some of the trends of adoption, new technologies. Because telecommunication has become a critical infrastructure, we're doing many things in remote. I would say that, you know, my parents didn't know how to use a PC 2 months ago, and today they are Zoom experts. So, you know, it takes, like researchers say that it takes 20 days to adapt new habit and 60 days to make it your regular habit. So that's why application or use cases are accelerated. And of course, also all the requirements in order to support that are actually encouraging the rollouts and will encourage the deployments and rollouts of 5G, and will enable other things like the network management, the use of analysis, big data, AI and machine learning, robotic and automatics, augmented reality, virtual reality, all those things that will be needed. We're going to see today 4 companies. I think that each of them provides a solution that actually is very relevant to the 5G and the IoT developments. We will talk about the importance of edge computing and what kind of applications can be done with that, network management, technologies like virtualization, usage of the cloud, and Octopus is a company that will also have an application, I think a major application that is required these days. So without further notification, I would like to hand out the stage to my colleague, Mr. Ido Gur, which is the CEO of Saguna. Please, Ido.
Hi, everybody. Nabil, please put the presentation. So I'll be able now. So I'll be able to present. Okay. Meanwhile, the presentation is going up. A few words about Saguna. Saguna is a company that is focusing for a couple of years on multi-access edge computing. Actually, we build a very robust software, which is the platform that on this platform you can put your application. So regarding mobile, the platform enabling mobile operators to be able to give services or to the enterprise, okay? Whether you need the devices like IoTs, so the latency will be very low, okay, under 10 milliseconds sometime, but also will be able to go to other applications. The motivation, actually, the reason for the edge computing is very clear. Since we have the IoT, we have the real-time social gaming, we have the 8K TV, AR and VR, connected car, and so on, and also a new application that requires the ultra reliable low latency, the enhanced broadband, and also AI and edge analytics, and above all, the privacy and security. Edge computing is actually connected directly to the 5G service. Without edge computing, spreading the 5G services will be very, very challenging. For the very simple reason that with the edge computer, we'll be able, the service provider will be able to go to the enterprise and offer a new type of services with a much better privacy and with a very low latency. The solution that we offer, we can connect to the mobile, but also to wireline or Wi-Fi. Above our platform, you can put whatever application you would like. We have management. Where to put us? You can put Saguna in your core, in your regional core, and you can put it far deep into the edge. You can put it close to the customer edge, on premises, or near the base station. This will be your solution according to your needs. And we will offer you cloud automation. We will offer for you to work on virtual machine and Kubernetes at the same time, and with a way of how to move from this solution to this solution, how availability, of course, also GPU virtualization. And we work also 4G and also 5G. So you can start working with us, offering new type of application, working on 4G, and you can go seamlessly also to 5G on the same platform. The solution that we have, the solution that we have, we are connected on the north part of our interface to orchestration of the customer or other system integrator with a very strong API, and with this we'll give a full solution, as I said, and you can work with us. You can see the monitoring and all the other type of solution. We have a very strong features, as I said, the V-Edge is a product. I'm going to the next one. Okay. We have a very strong services and application. This presentation is too short, so I won't be able to go into all of them. And please, you can go and maybe later you can email me more questions if you have. But we have all type of services. You can see the DNS, the application mobility, etc. I won't go into now, but please feel free. I can say that we have a very strong routing capabilities. Our CNI is very strong. We support IPv4 or IPv6. And again, once you need more information, please contact me for more questions. The product is very stable, very robust, and actually also supported by many patents that we have already. Already the product is working with the SK Telecom in Korea. We made several paid trials with SoftBank, Vodafone, KDDI, and Octopus. And we have also enterprise customers, as you can see on the presentation. And we also have a channel partners. One of them is HPE, which we have a non-exclusive OEM agreement. And also we are working with every partner since we are actually transparent to the hardware that we are installed on, so we can work with many partners, obviously. So the product is really very stable and already working with many customers. This is another example of application paid trial we did with Vodafone, where we used our edge computing since the footprint is so small, okay, that we will be able to put it on a drone. Okay, and with the drone, we had an application of a specific case, as you can see. So it was covering, it was installed on a very small footprint on a drone. It was working very, very well. Also, obviously, the ultra low latency make the solution very good to work with the industry 4.0. One moment. I don't know why it's not moving. Presentation. It's moving very slow. Oh, industry 4.0. You can see the industry 4.0 as a good example that our solution worked very, very good because of the ultra low latency. So all the IoT devices, once they are detected by mobile frequency, the industry can work very, very fast, and every sensor information will be moved very, very quickly to the decision and make the changes once necessary. Again, another application that we worked with KDDI, for example, is on connected car. Again, worked very well. And also these days, we're working with the SKT, where they installed our solution in central offices, started with consumers application of gaming and 8K TV, but also going into enterprise. So in this case, the product is already working, live traffic with 5G network. And now we are going also to enterprise with this solution together with SKT. To summarize, we can work with any type of workload, whether this is a virtual machine or Kubernetes. We can work with third-party clouds, with AWS or others. We are very, very scalable. We can start from Atom up to high-end Xeon and GPUs, fully automated, pure play, working with all the type of the radio access network. And today it's already running in production with the tier 1 network. So that's it for now. Thank you very much for your time. And if you have more questions, please connect with me directly. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ido. Mr. Ajay Jain is asking, what is the difference in cloud and edge cloud? Who is hosting edge cloud?
Okay, so we are the cloud, actually. So we are building a cloud which is close to the customer premises. In some cases, the customer will not need the big clouds like, I don't know, Amazon or Azure or others at all. In some cases, he will decide to put some of the information and the application on his own cloud that we offer Saguna, and sometimes some of it he will put on the cloud of Amazon. We can live together, both. But this is our cloud, so we create a new cloud near the customer, which actually owned by the customer many times. Because it's in the customer premises, offering best security and ultra low latency.
Okay, another question is, how will 5G address or improve voice quality, and in what way?
Well, how it will improve voice quality, I'm not sure that it's affecting the voice quality, because we are mainly related to data application. But I think it's transparent to us. I think all the features of the application goes up. But please, if you can send more specific questions, what are you looking for? Please send it to me, and I will be able to answer you better understanding your question.
Another question for Mr. Sandeep Batula is asking, does Saguna support content caching? And if yes, how much it can hold?
Well, I'm not sure understanding. Again, please send it to me by email and I'll be able to answer in details.
Okay, one last question for this session because we have to move to the next presenter is what is the typical latency for IoT applications as per IEE IEE release, yeah.
I can say it really depends where do you put our solution. If you put the server very close to the machine, for example, in the industry 4.0, if you put it very close to the IoT, so it's milliseconds, okay? If this is like in the close base station, so it will be maybe up to 10 milliseconds. It really depends where you put Saguna. If you put in the central office, maybe it will be 20 milliseconds. But anyway, since many times the latency related to the physical limitation of the velocity of speed. So this limitation, when we put our solution close to the customer, we can get much faster actually reactiveness. And also the solution that we've made, that all the decision and the architecture with the network infrastructure that we put is that our response is very fast. So the latency can start from 1 millisecond until dozens of milliseconds. Really depends where do you put our solution and type of applications.
The one last question. By the way, there are many questions to you, so I hope we have time at the end, or of course we will forward you the questions in order to reply offline. But one more question is, do you have an opinion on what is the most likely deployment scenario for the edge in India? Will it be at the public cloud edge, telco central office, or deeper into the access network?
Well, I think it's a great question that I won't be able to answer shortly. I can only say that it really depends on the strategy of the service operator, in case this is public service operator, whether he decide to put his edge computing in the central office, original central office, or close to the edge. It depends on the application he would like to offer. It depends on the latency he would like, he will need to offer to his customers, and also on the countries where you have private offering of frequencies. So many times a system integrator will offer the enterprise a private cellular solution, and that he will be able to build it by his own or by a private frequency supplier, and this can be done as well. So it really depends on the architecture. I'm a big believer that edge computing is a very enhanced part of the 5G solution. It will be very challenging to offer to enterprise services without edge computing, but I think it's very important also to the 4G, because also the 4G, sometimes if the mobile operator don't want to invest too much in 5G, but at the same time making the right noise and marketing in order to get new type of customers, they can offer edge computing also in 4G. Maybe in a later stage, go to 5G. And this is something we are offering.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much, Ido, for a great presentation. I see that there's a lot of interest. I would like to continue with Nexog. And with Nir Ezer from Nexog, just to say that in that times and applications and environment, we're talking also a lot of multi-vendor networks and hybrid kind of networks. We're talking a lot about network management systems. One of the leading vendors in Israel is Nexog. Nir, please.
Hi everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to present Nexog portfolio. My name is Nir from Nexog, and I will present Nexog Network Management and Orchestrator system. Nabil, if you can share the presentation, please. Thank you. So, who is Nexog? Nexog is a software company, and we are providing management and orchestration. It's called Mano, a Mano platform. And our Mano platform, our orchestration platform, is targeted for a B2B, for a service operator, telecom operator. We manage and we provide life cycle orchestration over the network and its services. The Nexog platform, it's a cloud-native technology based on microservices, Docker, Kubernetes, and it's open, highly scalable, reliable, and secured. It's targeted for the telecom market, for the service operator. We support multi-vendors, multi-devices, managing and monitoring the network in every node, and supporting multi-type of protocol. The solution is available as a cloud solution, as SaaS, and can be also installed on a private cloud or on premises. Based on Nexog platform, we offer and we are addressing 3 market segments. One is the IoT, the Internet of Things, and this will be the focus of this presentation. We will focus on a smart power solution, an end-to-end smart power solution that Nexog is offering. The Nexog platform, the Nexog management and orchestration platform, also addresses the telecom and service operator managing cellular, wireless, and fiber network. And we also have the Nexog platform for broadcasting and satellite. So this is what the lifecycle orchestration is about. Covering the end-to-end registration and discovery of devices, configuration and scheduling of events, troubleshooting, maintenance, and monitoring. Focusing on the smart power, the Nexog platform, it's a B2B IoT platform. It's targeted for service operator and telecom operator that they adopt this platform and they can provide IoT services to their customer, whether it's a business customer or a residential customer. The motivation here that service operator can actually introduce IoT services and therefore increase their average revenue per user, meaning they offer to their customers, to their subscribers, additional services that makes value for them, for those subscribers, and therefore they can increase and attract customers. From the smart power, Nexog Smart Power is already a field-proven solution installed in the Israeli telecom operator Bezeq, and it was approved to save up to 20% in power saving. So customers or subscribers are adopting the smart power, and eventually they are saving money. So there is a clear value, and it's a safe path for a service operator to introduce IoT services. Some of the highlights of the smart power, it's a power efficiency, so up to 20% power saving. Everyone wants to save power. Everyone wants to be green, friendly to the environment. The devices, and the Nexog also provide the relevant devices, whether it's outlets, sockets, adapter for air condition, and heaters and shutters. The devices itself are very easy to install. It's a plug and play and support variety of devices. We support smart power functionality such as timer, ability to set timers, ability to set work hours, start time, end time, when to turn on, when to turn off the power. Limit operation time. If, for example, there is air condition, you want to turn it after 1 hour, then you set the LOT, the limit operation time. we have a very sophisticated notification and anomalies to raise notification, to raise alarm, and power consumption monitoring and analytics. This is the highlight of the features that the smart power presents. The smart power of Nexog, it's an end-to-end solution, includes the devices, the outlets. There is a variety of devices, the cloud, a very powerful cloud based on Kubernetes and microservices, and the mobile application and the web user interface that the end user can use. Now, everything is customizable and brandable, meaning that the service operator that uses Nexog platform can actually customize and rebrand the application to include its own logo, coloring, additional features, etc. Also for the actual device, it is rebrandable and can adopt to any power country type. So this is about the end-to-end solution. As you can see here, this is a screenshot of the mobile application, of the web, and different type of devices such as the light controls, sockets, outlets, adapter for air condition, for heaters, shutter devices. It controls all the aspects of the office, home, everything that a corporation or a organization needs. This is a little bit about the architecture. As we are providing a tenant, it's a tenant for the telecom operator, and he can actually provide domains. Each domain is actually a customer of the telecom operator, whether it's a municipality, and the municipality can manage different type of sites, kindergarten, schools, or it can be a shopping mall that they have building 1, building A, and many shops. So the system is well organized to serve and to target a business organization, municipalities, corporation, and others. This is a little bit about the microservices architecture. We provide end-to-end. You can see the devices here at the bottom right side, and we have a very powerful server architecture to manage millions of devices and to be able to provide the full control to the telecom operator, including customer support portal, and to the end subscribers, the mobile application and the web UI. Also included in our platform is a very enhanced mechanism, the Timestream analyze and predict. Our cloud solution actually receives lots of information, including values, consumption, power consumption, events, statuses, and based on this is the data source that we are monitoring, and based on decision criteria, we are able to send notification and send alerts. For example, if there is a refrigerator, a big refrigerator that holds some medical exams and for some reason this refrigerator always need to work, always need to be in -5 degrees. If something happened to this refrigerator, if someone turn it off or the power consumption is lower, it's dangerous to the medicine and the medical equipment in this refrigerator. So we raise an alarm. So we have a very sophisticated and flexible Timestream analyze engine that the user can set different type of criteria, different type of threshold, and when the specific threshold happens, there is a notification to the user, and also the engine can do action on event, what to do if something happened. If the refrigerator has a problem, if the air condition was not turned on, we have all this algorithm to handle. Some of the, just to take a quick feel of the application, everything is rebrandable. This is a B2B platform, meaning that all the application, user interface can accommodate and rebrand it to the telecom operator logo and colors and functionality. Here is, for example, how to control a certain site or a certain room. You can see all the devices, the power devices that are available in this site or building. You can turn on and off. You can see the status, for example, as setting the timers. Timers can be set, for example, if it's an office, whether it's an office, a school, a university, municipality building. It's possible to set working hours, start time, end time, and which days of the week this timer should work. It's a very flexible and user-friendly user interface, and multiple timers can work on a specific time. Also, limit operation time if there is a certain light or air condition that you don't want to work more than 1 hour, more than half hour, it will automatically be turned off. Also, after working hours, limit operation time can be set because, for example, there is no need to have air condition if there is no one at the room or at the office. Additional features of the system, it's the threshold and notification, a flexible one to have ability to monitor if the device is switch off, switch on, if there is a problem with the power consumption of the device, if it crosses a certain threshold, whether it's a lower threshold or higher threshold, and power consumption. We aggregate all the information of the power consumption. We have it on real time and historical power consumption per day, per month. Also for the customer, for the subscriber, he can monitor if actually the smart power system helps him to save power. And this is the target of the smart power, to save in power consumption and eventually to save money for the subscriber. This is in a very nutshell a highlight of the smart power. What we are offering, to summarize, is the actual devices and the different type of devices, the cloud solution, and all the mobile application and the user application and the web application for the user to control the smart power.
Thank you very much, Neil. So there were a few questions which you answered most of them during your presentation. I would like to ask you two questions that were questions, but please give a quick response. First of all, how it is different from Greengrass of the AWS. The second thing, does it support multi-vendor legacy in the integration with NMS in real time?
Yeah, so our solution, the Nexog solution, is we tuned it to be a smart power and for businesses, for organizations. So it supports multi-tenant, and we can have a tenant dedicated for business organization, a tenant dedicated for residential and home users, and each one of them can include different branding. The system itself, we are using AWS to host the cloud, but it can be also installed on any other cloud solution or on premises for the telecom operators.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And last but not least, the system, of course, is open to manage additional device type and additional protocol. We started with the smart power in order to provide the end-to-end for a smooth and safe path to introduce IoT.
Thank you very much, Neil. It was very interesting. We'd like to go forward. We're talking, and we will talk about clouds and the edge computing and edge orchestration, but I want to also talk about what are the major applications, and one of them is around the connected facilities and connected cities. So I would like to ask Danny Nachmuli, VP Business Development of Octopus, to share with us about their solution. Danny, please.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet everyone. Oops, the presentation there. Let's jump to the start. There we go. So nice to meet everyone. My camera here, I don't have a camera in my laptop, but let's start here with the presentation. So Octopus Systems, we are a software company. We are existing for 7 years. I'll try to move the presentation. Oh, there we go. We're existing for 7 years. Okay. And we, as this presentation is starting to slowly load. Oh, there we go. Our company is specializing in development of cloud or on-premise software for smart city management of IoT environments. We were established in 2013. We've been invested by 3 international investment firms. We have here in Israel about 55 employees and a daughter company in Canada. We have another offices in Singapore and Spain for operations. So like I said, we are a software company specializing in management of smart city environments, smart city command and control, emergency response, IoT infrastructure management and automation under a multi-tenant environment or on-premise. We've deployed our solution already in about 28 countries, over 300 deployments, and we've won multiple awards for it. We've been selected just now recently by Frost & Sullivan, the International Market Research, as the best smart city command and control platform in the world, comparing it to every other solution such as Cisco, IBM, Huawei. We have 9 ISOs. We work under GDPR since data privacy and the information security is very important. This is a system that's geared to high-end government and municipality organizations. So we put a lot of emphasis on those elements. What are the challenges we're trying to address here? So with the deployment of fast networks such as 5G, FTTH, fiber to the home, we're seeing growth of digitalization throughout the urban environment, smart government, smart city, spread of IoT and smart elements, smart systems. And this creates an overflow of information. This creates a non-correlation. So systems don't speak to each other. They're not correlated. They're not integrated. There's no sharing of information between different divisions within the organization. And there's no a lot of sharing of correlated information within the end user or the public, the citizens. So this creates inefficiency in operating the city assets and devices, and not enough sharing of information with the public. So this is where Octopus comes in. So Octopus Citywise is a one-stop shop platform for providing the organization, the city, the government with all the modules in one place. More than 35 modules to manage your smart city operations, to integrate to all systems and give you a one-stop shop, one pane of glass or one common operational picture of all those elements, and to manage them efficiently and effectively. Reduce costs on utility, on operations, manpower, and scale your city to add more devices agnostically, not relying on any specific vendor that you want to put, and still be able to manage it. And a mobile app to share all that information and engage with communications with your city residents. So this could be a system that sits in a control center of the city, could be a 911, could be a 112, or a general city control center for the smart city division to manage all the systems from one place. This system is deployed either cloud-enabled, as either on our multi-tenant environment running on Microsoft Azure hosted and replicated around the world, or on private clouds. So we have telecom operators, we have service providers that have it on their private cloud in a virtual environment, and they can offer it as a service, as a managed service to their customers, all white labeled as an OEM product to be used. At the heart of the system, we have an open architecture API, like I said, agnostic API server, which can seamlessly connect through standard or not standard SDKs, APIs to third-party systems that you would have within smart government or smart city, such as smart light, the IoT infrastructure of the light, security, physical security, safety, ICT, all your unified communications environment, water, sewage, parking systems, power, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, public transportation, traffic control, traffic lights. This all be managed under one platform. Actually, we integrate to more than 400 subsystems today. A lot of the leading brands throughout the world, we integrate to them. Waste management, for instance, your bins and buried trash cans, to the vehicle, the garbage collection vehicles, to your, like I said, traffic control systems, your public transportation, taxis, buses, traffic lights, traffic sensors, IoT and smart lighting infrastructure, so everything to do with smart light, indoor, outdoor, on all kind of infrastructures, building management systems, SCADA, water, power, license plate recognition used for private lanes or public lanes, or BOT projects used for or for traffic violations. Other IT elements and information security elements within the city infrastructure, fire, access, video analytics, face recognition, intrusion, and even drones and UAV. We have several cities already that we've automated the drone and UAV to bring in feeds and abnormal activity detections from within the city. So this all comes under one system. The added value that we do is that we can correlate everything, we can automate. We have machine learning capabilities to detect abnormal activity and to recommend on actions. We generate business intelligence from all this information and allow to define business continuity and business procedures from all the incoming data logs to create a lot of added value for the organization, smart city, smart government. Just an example now, within the COVID-19, we had one of the cities here in Israel that the highest spread of COVID-19, of the coronavirus. Immediately our system was dispatched to run the whole city operations to reduce the spread. And we immediately gave them, in 24 hours, we were able to deploy the solution, connect to all the city cameras, to thermal cameras scanning people, to connect to the police vehicles and give them tasks on enforcing the lockdown, to provide city residents with a mobile app to allow them to get notifications or to get contact tracing alarms, to deploy 2 balloons for surveillance and 3 drones to monitor the lockdown throughout the city. So very quickly deployed due to the existing integrations to a lot of best of breed solutions in the market. Cloud, fast. We have technology partnership with a lot of vendors in the market, whether IoT or other low voltage security systems, other type of building management systems as well. Like I said, we've grown substantially and deployed the system all around the world currently. It's a modular system with 35 systems, so we provide, of course, GIS and floor plans. We can visualize your city in the 3D BIM module. We can show you internal 3D modeling. We can show you georeferenced visualization, floor plan visualization. We have dispatching capabilities of staff. We have all the management of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of sensors. We can manage perpetual, non-perpetual data, big data. We have resource management to manage all your resources. Visitor management, this is now important for COVID, for instance. Like I said, smart building management, you can manage everything from a tablet or from a mobile phone with touch to manage all your, like your smart home. Incident management, dashboard, procedure management and automation. So really a rich system with a lot of modules in one place to give you that one stop shop. In terms of added value for cities, we have a lot of use cases that it's used, like I explained previously, for energy, water, utilities, transportation, waste management, security and safety, all under one system. So you can divide it into different divisions. The system has the multi-tenancy environment available for the organization. The organization can divide the different divisions within the city or the organization that each will have access to their own resources, their own sensors, devices, incidents, and it will be divided with those permissions with a multi-tenancy environment. The control center could have that overview of all the information from one place. Here you see a little bit of also more security orientation, face recognition, license plate integration to bring you and reduce forensic events, criminal events within the city, deploy police to apprehend wanted people, wanted vehicles, stolen vehicles, deploy this in several cities where we reduce theft of cars significantly. Social media as well to give you additional information and intelligence analysis. See that our full presentation is uploaded. Incident management dashboard, whether on a tablet, whether on your control center, whether from a vehicle, and the procedures for managing every type of event and automating the response to those events. Unified communications. Yeah, I think our long presentation was uploaded and not the short one.
Yeah. So you know, time runs fast when you enjoy.
Two last words I want to just say. With a very sophisticated mobile app that allows you to engage with the entire public. We have deployed this where we have hundreds of thousands of people downloaded this mobile app and allowing you to engage, share information, you can have readings of meters, of your water, of power meters, report things from the city, receive notifications, receive information about government pay bills, city maps, city development maps. Everything can be shared. It's a very rich mobile application. It also allows the public, the resident to share and prevent back a call to the 116 or 911 regarding security, safety, or any city issue that he wants to address. Some deployments you can see here. Second largest bank in Israel, 50,000 sensors, 300 sites. Smart City Operations Center, where we manage and monitor all the IoT, where we have the smart lights, the LED lights, the garbage collection, city surveillance, video analytics, all the kindergarten and schools connected and all the city residents. This is the control center within the city. You can see Bangkok, Smart City, Pattaya, and Samut Prakan, and facility management integrated environment. Again, just to summarize, this is used together as a managed, can be provided as a managed server by service providers, telecom operators, system integrators. We have cooperation with SoftBank in Japan. We have in Verizon in the US. We have a fiber optic company large in South Africa, and other telecom, NCS in Singapore. We've installed it in India on only one customer, BEL, Bharat Electronics in Bangalore, but we look forward to expanding our work in India, and hopefully we can do that soon. Thank you so much. If there's any questions.
Yeah, thank you very much, Danny. There were a few questions that were answered during the presentation. One that I would like short answer. Chetan is asking, are all these systems integrations available on a single package or a modular form?
So this is modular. Of course, you have to define what integrations you want. We already have API to many systems. We can recommend what we support and works well. So we can tell you what you can use, but it's a modular and you can then scale it and add it over time according to your needs.
Thank you, Danny. The rest of the question we will keep for the Q&A session at the end. So with that, I want to go forward to the presentation of Ilan Adler from Cloudify. Needless to say, the importance of cloud integration and orchestration, and also everything that is related to cloud and edge computing.
Thank you so much, Rory. And first of all, I'd like to thank the India Mobile Association for having us on this webinar. It's a pleasure. I'm hoping everyone's staying safe. And what I want to do today is discuss with everyone and explain about Cloudify. So Cloudify is an open orchestration platform. It's one platform that's simplifying orchestration from core to edge. You can use it on any clouds. You can use it to orchestrate any service, and you can use it at unlimited locations, or what we like to call the extreme scale or edge scale. So what is Cloudify? Cloudify is this end-to-end open source orchestration platform. It's enabling enterprises to connect, automate, manage their infrastructure, their networking environments, application environments, IoT applications, 5G network slicing, and all of these, including the application pipeline, all of these can be done on private clouds, public clouds, hybrid, multi-clouds, as well as edge clouds. What's the end-to-end part of what Cloudify does is starting from even before day zero, when we have our design time, we have a shifty graphical UI where you can drag and drop your representation of your network, which essentially turns it into YAML code. Cloudify is an intent-based orchestrator. From then on, going to the day zero and day one configuration, provisioning and configuration, whether it's a physical device, a virtual network function, a cloud workload, or anything like that, that will be that process. And then, most importantly, from the orchestration perspective, is the day two, the management and monitoring. You can connect Cloudify to any external monitoring platform, so you can bring in your own Prometheus, which is a popular open source monitoring, and you can then within your network, within your service blueprints, you can have specific policy that will enable you to do automated workflows. So things like, think about it in terms of scaling up, scaling down, healing, installing, uninstalling the different services. Now, this is obviously very, very important from the orchestration perspective, and one of the key ways that's looking to go forward is tying that into complete closed-loop automation. So the ability to take those applications and services and run them completely autonomously without user error. Some of the industry drivers that like Cloudify on this journey and are very important for understanding the architecture and the scale of the solutions that Cloudify is solving is this move from a centralized single cloud. More and more we're seeing that evolve in the last 2-3 years to multi-cloud environments, which most enterprises have a multi-cloud strategy or multi-cloud in place. And even more right now, what we're seeing in the last year or two is this move towards edge computing. So obviously, huge number of different devices, sensors. We've heard a lot in the previous presentations about different services. And essentially, this needs a new paradigm. Where edge computing leads us to some very complex networking problems and scale problems. And really what we need is this move of the cloud towards the edge. 2 key points that I want to highlight. The ability that these are highly distributed environments, so you need to manage multiple devices across multiple sites at this extreme scale. We're talking like scale in millions and then billions. And orchestration is key. You need to be able to do a declarative intent-based approach, which you can modularly replace and fulfill different processes. And the second highlight I want to mention is that the network's at the core. So because there's different devices with different protocols and different application workloads and different clouds probably, you're going to need to be able to connect multiple devices across many edge and cloud data centers as well. And I think what this leads us to, like this big challenge and the need, is that the existing approaches to orchestration, they're not really fitting into this highly dynamic and distributed environment. They're essentially made very, very limited in terms of dealing with the scale. And the need as we see it is this for an open federated network architecture that's built for this edge scale. And what we've come up with as part of Cloudify is something that we like to call Cloudify Spire. Cloudify Spire is a next generation multi-site edge orchestrator. So it has multi-domain orchestration capabilities. All this is built around a very intuitive user interface. It's a little hard to see in this image, but I'll send hopefully in the follow-up short demo, 2 to 3 minute demo of this. But essentially what we're able to deliver is what we call an orchestrator of orchestrators approach. So you have one master service orchestrator, your national orchestrator, your global orchestrator, it doesn't matter what the nomenclature is. And that can be used to deploy workloads across multiple sites. You can also use criteria-based deployment. So you can choose different criteria and say, okay, I need to deploy this application, this 5G network application, or this IoT application on all sites that have OpenStack and Kubernetes on bare metal as the underlying infrastructure. I also need to take care of some Intel EPA capabilities, so sites that have the ability for me to utilize hardware acceleration on the edge devices. And then Cloudify will return, based on this criteria, the relevant sites. And then it's just as easily a matter of clicking the button and deploying onto all those sites. So this, I think, one of the key capabilities that we're bringing to the table here is this ability of, once all the service models are in place, and once you're able to model your different services, it makes it very, very much easier to onboard operators to actually use the service and manage it. Obviously, within this is the Spire architecture, is the automation of site management, being able to push out security patches, maintenance upgrades, configuration updates, and so on across all your sites. And like I said, this is edge scale. This is hundreds of thousands and millions of devices, whether they're IoT devices, whether they're universal CPEs, things like that, and doing it very, very easily. Now, the other added benefit of this is that it's following the MEC architecture. And in addition to that, the multiple domain orchestrator means that you can have, as regional orchestrators, you don't need to have Cloudify as the master orchestrator and regional domain orchestrator for all of them. You can use also other orchestrators for some of them. So for example, if you're running Kubernetes on bare metal at the edge, you can use that to do the local edge orchestration for that specific workload or that specific service. Cloudify will sit northbound and communicate through our rich series of Kubernetes plugin with the Kubernetes and can control that to other devices. This slide, I don't know why it's distorted, but again, what we're doing is we're leading the way in terms of heterogeneous and distributed services, meaning the more heterogeneous environments, multiple cloud, multiple devices, multiple domains, and the more distributed these are, the more relevant Cloudify becomes. In homogeneous environments, meaning if you just need to deploy a single service in a single region on AWS, for example, you can use Cloudify, but then the value becomes less apparent. Really, it's these huge, complex, multi-cloud environments that really require this end-to-end orchestration. And this end-to-end automation is, in fact, built for today's modern cloud infrastructure. What we see here, I think it's important to show this end-to-end service definition where you declare your service. Like I said, out of the box, we're already compliant with most of the major public and private cloud providers out there today. AWS, Azure, Google on the public cloud, VMware and OpenStack on private cloud. We can interact via a rich series of plugins with existing automation that you might have within your platform. So things like Terraform for infrastructure, or Azure Arm, or CloudFormation. Ansible, if you're using Ansible playbooks for network automation, and NetConf for network interfaces, devices with a NetConf interface. Also important, like I said, we can interact, connect to Kubernetes cluster, whether they're managed Kubernetes, whether it's Kubernetes that you built up yourself, or whether you want to deploy Kubernetes clusters with Cloudify. as well as serverless or functions as a service. So we've done use cases with connected cars, where Cloudify is pushing serverless configs to the connected cars in real time, as well as other SD-WAN platforms. The automation first approach, like I said, I'll try to speed it up due to lack of time. The ability for us to connect.
1 minute, please, Danny.
Connect brown and greenfield environments and avoid vendor lock-in. So you're not locked into any specific vendor. You can use multiple SD-WAN vendors. You can use one SD-WAN vendor for one client and then another one for a different end customer of yours. UCP devices, the ability to build a best-of-breed VNS stack that's relevant for the edge. So you can have devices that are specialty made for retail and for one customer, and devices for different ones for a different customer. Some of the key differentiators I mentioned already: this federated network architecture, the full lifecycle management, and a multi-domain composition. It's also important at the edge scale to think about things in intent-based networking. You focus on the desired state and you abstract the applications and networks from the underlying infrastructure. And you're not focused on always doing scriptology, as they say, and running scripts to every new service. This UCP, open UCP edge stack, the ability for us to deploy, like I said, the best of breed UCPs. You can take open source VNFs, you can take closed source VNFs, you can use the different managed services. Cloudify is agnostic to all of them, and we'll be able to deploy it whether it's virtual, physical, or on cloud native infrastructure. And I'll end here. You don't have to believe me. These are just some of our selected customers. A lot of service providers, customers using Cloudify in production. So it's not just slideware. We have customers, managed service providers who are deploying to thousands of devices using Cloudify. We have already existing relationships with hardware vendors such as QNAP doing UCP orchestration, VNF vendors who OEM in Cloudify as their orchestration platform, and so on and so forth, banks, and the ability to utilize those. So I had to speed it up there, but yeah, I'm happy to follow up with anyone, and thank you so much for taking time out to listen to me today.
Thank you very much, Ilan. Stay with your microphone open, because I want to have a question to all the presenters, which was actually also asked during your presentation, but it's relevant for all of them. And the question is, actually, what kind of joint venture or partnership are you looking for in India? And what actually would say what are your expectations regarding partnership and business in India?
Yeah, so we're happy to look into any of these edge or multi-cloud use cases and how we can enable essentially digital transformation, if you will, to rolling them out to more customers and getting connectivity. We're open to doing sort of quick win POCs for relevant use cases, and we also work in India with some of the global SIs, a lot of which are based in India, so we're already certified to work with this.
Thank you. Thank you. Ido, if you can open your microphone, the same question to you. And during your presentation, people were asking, are you having any kind of entity or office already in India?
Hi. No, I don't have any office in India currently. I certainly would like to look into it. We are focusing on APAC, and India is an interest for us. The same answer, I believe. We are looking for any type of network or customer that would like to use our solution for the edge cloud. They will be happy to make POCs, and the right partner that will offer also a level of system integration. I believe also, of course, it's possible service provider as well. I believe it's the right partner for us.
Thank you very much. Neil, can you say a few words about this? What kind of joint venture partnerships and what are your expectations regarding the Indian market?
Yes, we are looking for actually a service operator or a mobile operator, telecom operator that we can have a POC for smart power to introduce the smart power into the India market and of course tune it according to the India needs.
Great, thank you very much. Danny?
Yeah, we're also looking to partner with telecom, large telecom, system integrator to work together to offer this system either as a managed server or as installed separately for smart estate, smart city, smart parks. You know, there's a lot of new business parks coming up in India. So we think there's a lot of room now to cooperate, and we're also willing to do POCs, set up an environment in the partners side to, you know, demonstrate and set up a operative system for the benefit of both sides.
Okay, Danny. One question from me. What do you think is the most, I would say, probable type of applications that will be the first one to emerge in the context of IoT in 2020? Will it be smart city? Will it be smart home, medical, or others? Danny?
Yeah, maybe now with COVID-19, maybe easing of data privacy issues and more easing on monitoring. I think we might be more seeing IoT, whether it's medical, you know, scanning of people with thermal cameras. We're already seeing that increase coming in. Other monitoring elements, drones probably, and will be coming up more. You know, checking for aggregation of people and so forth. So I think the whole IoT, smart city, and the more monitored environment is going to be getting a boost due to COVID-19. City's going to ride on that and maybe deploy, you know, entire smart city ecosystems now and push them forward. That's what I see coming forward.
Thank you. Ido from Saguna.
Yes.
First of all, same question. You have quite a lot of deployments worldwide, so it will be interesting to know what happens worldwide. I would like just to add another question that was in your during your presentation is around the CDN and content sharing. Are you also active in that area as well?
Well, we are not in the area of CDN. However, in some cases, it really depends on application. We can do things to make things work. So it really depends on application. Specifically, we are not a CDN platform, but we can make it work according to the requirements. Yeah, I believe this is the answer.
Thank you very much. And Neil?
Yeah, sorry. Regarding which IoT services, I think it's a mix, of course.
What do you think will emerge, you know, will be more in the 2020?
Yeah, so we took, as a Nexog, we took the approach that a smart power has a clear business case. It's actually saving power and therefore saving costs for the end subscriber. So it has a clear value proposition. And this is our approach. We targeted that service operator will expand their offering with IoT such as smart power.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much for these answers. So we are just in time to give the stage my colleague to Barak Granot. Barak Granot is, as I said at the beginning, is the head of the economic division in the Embassy of Israel in New Delhi. And we're glad to have you, Barak. It's a great respect for us. And please, a few words from you. Barak?
I don't know that he's on.
I understand. So please, Mr. Matthews, if you can summarize the event.
So first of all, Roy, thank you very much for a very effectively run interaction. And of course, we have to thank all of the folks. I understand we have close to 500 plus folks who signed in. So a thank you to all of the folks who participated. And we hope that this has been useful. We had 4 very different presentations. Ido, Nir, Danny, and Ilan gave us very different perspectives in the emerging area of IoT, 5G, and how operators and those who would like to play alongside could play and look at solutions. And one of the things that we were very keen to do is to show some of the emerging technologies vis-a-vis what is coming online in terms of IoT and 5G and some of the related and ancillary applications and those that are integrating with the operators. In India, of course, we are looking forward to 5G at some point in the near future, but it's good to sort of stimulate our thinking and get prepared for some of these types of solutions and applications and services that are already being applied and introduced in so very many other parts of the country. So again, I want to express my thanks to you, Roy. I want to express my thanks to the Israeli consulate here in India for working with us. Vinod, again, was the one who mooted this idea, and thank you, Vinod, for helping us. I want to thank Nabil from our team. He was the one who ran the technical background. This was not just quite easy without his participation, the presentations, the integration of all of our participants. Nabil, thank you very much. My companion in crime here, Ramki from India Mobile Congress. Looking forward to have as many of you folks participate in the India Mobile Congress, Ramki. There, thank you very much. And again, I hope that you all can follow up with these companies. The email and the contact information of the 4 companies that presented today are available. I noticed there were many queries on the chat. Unfortunately, we could not address all of them, but I do encourage those who have follow-up questions, do have commercial interests and questions in the nature of implementation and operations in India, learning more about the particular company and its solutions that they're offering, to get in contact with the folks who presented through the email contact information that has been presented. So with that, again, thanks to all of those who participated, our presenters, Roy, thank you, Israel Embassy, and not least COI and IMC for supporting and putting this together. So with that, our session is over, and we conclude this particular session and webinar. Thank you.
Thank you.